Hi, thanks for joining me today. It's Froggy Friday! I hope you're not tired of seeing neon watermelons because I'm running with that theme with this frog. And you'll see it appear a couple more times as well. But don't worry, I'm not going to just do neon watermelon things for the rest of my life. But just to clarify, I totally could because I love it. So I started out by pouring clear resin, and that is all nice and cured up, and I just did it in the bottom part, which is the frog's back. What the heck is this? Do you guys know what this is? Somebody please tell me what kind of fruit or vegetable that is. It was in my pack, and you can see there was the kiwi next to it. I thought at first maybe it was a kiwi. Anyway, I sat there and I puzzled over that for far too long. In this fruit mix I managed to find only 4 triangular watermelon slices. Of course, I picked one of the 4 out of this entire pack of fruit slices out. And I thought, oh great, there must be more. I mean, technically there were more, but only 3. So anyhow, the rest are the round slices. And I colored that resin with Marabu alcohol ink in neon pink. I wanted to keep it fairly translucent so you could definitely see the clay slices through it. Froggy Friday is a weekly amphibian collaboration hosted by several awesome channels. As always, the playlist will be in my description. Please go watch those other videos. Alright, so I got my slices in and I thought, it's missing something. And I got these, they're not really beads because they don't have holes in them, but I got these from Temu. It's a little mix. And I thought I would just pull out the hot pink ones. And there's 2 different sizes. There's a larger size and a small size. So I just sort of scatter them around. I had some leftover resin, so I thought I would use the same beads to put into the toes. Now, the back feet do have a 5th toe, but I never use it because it's smaller than the other ones and you really can't see it. My mother-in-law was here last weekend. Hi, Margarita, if you're watching. And she asked me what I'm doing with all of the frogs. Frankly, I'm overrun with resin frogs. I need a shelving unit for my frogs at this point in time. I ended up grabbing some work pliers because these beads just did not want to cooperate, and I was having one of those days. So this worked out really well in the end. That's all nice and cured, and now we're ready for our next layer, which is going to be a deeper pink. I'm coloring it with regular resin dye. This is from a set I have in the color tourmaline, and that's got to be some sort of gemstone or mineral, but it's a really beautiful, deep, sort of reddish pink, and this glitter matches perfectly. The glitter is slightly translucent, and it just does the coolest thing in resin that's been dyed another color. I've never used it this way, but I definitely want to do it more. I spray a little alcohol in there before I pour it in, just to make sure I'm not getting bubbles. And at that point I realize it's not actually as dark as I want it, so I add a few more drops, and then it turns out perfect. So pretty. This is going to go into my curing machine for a couple of hours, and then we're ready for the next layer. This is all nice and cured, and now we're ready for the next layer, which is going to be a white layer. I'm using opaque resin dye for this. It's just one I got off of Amazon years ago. And I'm also going to be adding some fine white glitter to it because, hello, glitter is life. Always add glitter when you can. always. I wiped off my stirring stick. Why am I suddenly blanking on the word? What, a stirrer? Stirrer? That doesn't sound right either. I don't know what my issue is. Anyhow, I made sure to get all the resin off of it before I dipped it into the white resin dye because I did not want to solidify my resin dye. And I go ahead and I wipe the stirrer off again because it's kind of hanging onto that dye and I don't want it to keep depositing dye in there and then we have some unmixed sort of strings throughout it. Any extra fine white glitter would work here. I would make sure it's holographic though, because otherwise you might not see it very well with the opaque resin dye. I really didn't want to pour a very thick layer, so I do a little and then I sort of spread it out and then I do a little bit more. If you're a klutz like I am, it's far easier to add a little more than it is to panic and have to scoop a bunch out. The dark pink glitter layer does end up with some bubbles around the edges because I completely forgot to do this. Bubbles love to hide when layers of resin meet each other. So really important you go around the edge and dislodge any bubbles that might be hiding there so they have a chance to get to the surface and pop. I'm just tapping it and sort of doing what I can to try to get any bubbles that are in there to rise to the top. And then this is going to go into the curing machine for a couple of hours and we'll be ready for the next layer. I'm all for bright colors, but I have to say this white with the glitter is so pretty. I'm almost kind of sad to cover it up, but I get to use more glitter, so I'm not that sad. This is a very yellow green, I believe it's called Citrus, from Tim Holtz Ranger line, and it's beautiful, but it's too yellow. So I go and get a different green. It's also the Tim Holtz Ranger line. And I'm looking for a green that has a little more blue in it. This is what I get. It's Mojito, and it's a beautiful green. I love it. I add a few drops of this in, and it's perfect. It's exactly the color I was looking for. Okay, but now I want a mojito. Who's making drinks? Let me know. I'll be right there. But now it's time to add the glitter, and this is just a light green glitter. It's a fine cut, and I actually got this to make something for my older daughter. Her favorite Disney princess is Princess Tiana, and this is what I like to think of as Princess Tiana green. So I add some of that, and naturally I decide there's not enough, so I put a little more in there, and then I'm ready to go. Oh, that is so pretty. I love this color. With a spritz of alcohol and the dotting tool going around the edges, this Froggy is headed to the curing machine. Okay, time for the final layer, and it's a darker green color to match the watermelon rind. So I'm using the Mojito color again, as well as some neon green glitter from Glitter Heart Co. I do have a discount code for you in my description at Glitter Heart Co. if you'd like to try any of this awesome neon glitter out yourself. Of course it needed more glitter. I don't know why you even ask. Here I'm just checking the color against the light green, making sure it's dark enough and that I like what I see. And you know the drill by now. I'll go around the edges with my dotting tool, spray it with some alcohol, and it's into the curing machine for the last time. 2 hours later, it's all done and ready to be demolded. I don't understand how after all this time, I still ride the struggle bus when demolding this thing. Every time. It's amazing. I love how it turned out. It's so cute. This honestly may be one of my absolute favorite frogs. Froggy kiss. Here it is. This is with the flash on, and you can see just how much sparkle there is. And I love the watermelon slices inside too. You can't see the little beads inside as much as I'd hoped, but I still think they add a little something. I decided not to do anything with the eyes because I wanted the watermelon slices and the glitter to be the star of the show here. I hope you like my neon watermelon froggy, and I hope the rest of your day is fantastic. Thanks for hopping by. I'll see you soon.